Hello, everyone. Charles Watts here. Welcome back to Inside Arsenal. It is Thursday. I hope you're having a very good morning, and I'm pretty sure you are, because North London is very much red once again, thanks to that win last night, 2-1 at the Emirates. Arsenal getting them back on track, and there is no better way than doing it against Tottenham. Now, look, we've had a pretty crap week, haven't we? It's been pretty miserable. It's been lots of negativity, lots of soul searching. Just a pretty bad week after those cup defeats against Newcastle and against Manchester United. So today, this morning, we're just having fun. We are just going to have 20 minutes or so of nothing but positive energy and reveling in a North London derby win. Because if you can't celebrate, if you can't be feeling good about yourselves when you beat Tottenham, then when can you ever feel good about yourself? So we're going to have 20 minutes of just good, nice, positive thoughts. Come on, the Arsenal. North London is red. All is well with the world once again. 2-1, 1-0 down, 2-1 up. It was, I want to say it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun, to be fair. I had a brilliant day yesterday. Absolutely loved it. I should have recorded this earlier this morning, but I've just sort of fallen asleep on the sofa, basically. My cat just woke me up by jumping on me. I was sitting down to watch the highlights of the Arsenal game on Match Today. Somehow I fell asleep for about an hour and just was like, looked at my watch, like, oh my God, I've got to go and record. Because, yeah, I had a pretty fun day yesterday, from the 12 pins to the Tollingtons to the Shea to the Arsenal. Saw so many people, met lots of you guys as well who were coming up and saying hello. It was just a really good day. And obviously the football topped it off by actually winning that game as well. It looked a little bit nervy when Son scored, and it was like, oh, here we go again after dominating, falling behind with basically their first real sort of spell of pressure in the entire game. But fair play, they came back, scored 2 goals, were winning at half-time, and then held on in the second half. Yes, we should have scored more goals. Yes, we should have won the game more comfortably. Yes, again, we missed some chances that we shouldn't miss. But I'm not talking about that today. I can't be bothered. I just want to talk about good, happy things and worry about the rest tomorrow when we start to look ahead to that game against Aston Villa. I mean, Arsenal were the better team. There's absolutely no doubt. I mean, Tottenham were rubbish. Let's face it. Wow, they were bad. And the fact that Arsenal went behind, as I said, when it went 1-0, everyone in that state was just kind of looking at each other thinking, oh my God, here we go again. Well, I think it was really, really important that Arsenal got themselves back level before half-time, but to actually not just get back level, but to get themselves in front, it just gave everyone such a huge lift. You're kind of facing up to a pretty miserable half-time interval. Then all of a sudden you're winning, and just the whole mood around the place was completely different. I think it was really harsh that Gabriel got his goal chalked off and it's gone down as a Solanke own goal. I've watched that replay a lot of times. I think it's really hard to judge whether that header is going in or not before it glanced Solanke, because of the angle he was coming at. I haven't seen a definitive angle where you say, yeah, that's definitely not going in. So to take that goal off him, I think is really, really harsh. It wouldn't surprise me if Arsenal go to the Premier League and try and get that goal credited back to Gabriel. Not that that's going to help any of the FPL managers who are feeling pretty robbed this morning, no doubt. But I thought that was harsh. So, yeah, it was a brilliant delivery from Declan Rice, obviously, as usual, and good run from Gabby to get to the back post and get the header on. I love Trossard's goal. Yes, the goalkeeper should have saved it, but it's just what happens when you shoot, isn't it? That's the thing. You don't have to wait until you get the perfect opportunity. Sometimes just have a go, and that's what he did. He hit it well with his left foot across the keeper. Yes, the keeper should have saved it, but if you don't shoot, you don't score. And I just think I really enjoyed that goal, because it's just something we don't see enough of from this Arsenal team in terms of just shooting on sight. And he's like one of the few players who does do that, to be fair, even though at the moment he's a little bit short of confidence. And hopefully this goal will really sort of kickstart him into a good spell of form. But I really like the way he just took the shot on and he got his reward, found the bottom corner. And suddenly you're 2-1 up at half time. And as I said, just the whole mood around the stadium had completely shifted. And the second half, I wasn't quite sure what to expect, because I thought Arsenal were going to tire in the second half. And they did. I think Tottenham had a little bit more possession in the second half than they did in the first, but they never really looked like scoring an equaliser. Yes, you have to endure really nervy moments when you don't get that third goal, and Arsenal should have done. I think Havertz had the header from the corner. Rice went through, put it straight at the goalkeeper. Anywhere else, I think he scores. Obviously, the Odegaard chance with about 5 minutes to go that he puts wide with his left foot, should have scored. When you don't get that third goal, you always have to survive that little nervy spell at the end. And Porro had that sort of cross shot that hit the post. I think David Raya had it saved anyway, had it covered anyway, had it been on target. But in the end, look, Arsenal absolutely deserved to win that game. It was a really good response to what has happened, especially after going behind. They had to show a lot of character and a lot of personality to win that game from that situation, given the week that they've had. And they did that. And yeah, we all felt very, very good about ourselves. It was lovely leaving the stadium with everyone happy, just chanting away. It was, yeah, role reversal from what we had to endure against Manchester United just a few days ago. Mikel, obviously a very happy man after the game, said, I'm very proud of the team. I think we were sensational. I think it was a good test to see after two big performances and not get rewarded in two different competitions. You have to play the biggest game of the season for our people in those conditions, and it's a test of attitude. You know what we are made of, the courage that we have, how much we really care about a result on the performance and how much we can do in terms of what is required in the game to be better than the opposition. I think we played from the first minute to hurt them with or without the ball. I think we fully deserved to win the game. I think we made a lot of people very happy, but especially very proud to see a team that behaves in the manner that they have played to again. And I can imagine he was very, very happy because he talks a lot there about the attitude and the conditions of the game and what had happened before and what had gone on in those cup competitions. And sort of going back to what I said just earlier, you know, to sort of fight back from a goal behind, given everything that had gone on, I think it did show a real attitude. And Arsenal were really hungry, I thought, yesterday. From the first whistle, they were on it. They were pressing really well, better than we've seen recently. There was a real intensity to their play before they started to tire a little bit in the second half, I thought. And they just hunted Tottenham straight from the off. And, you know, they did have opportunities from those sort of presses. It was so close to turning the ball over in dangerous situations. I'm not sure quite what Raheem Sterling was doing in that first half early on when Miles Lewis-Skelly, I think, sort of won the ball, drove forward and played him in and just seemed to stop. Just as he was getting to the ball, the keeper was coming out. He seemed to stop. And I think he just carries on running and has the momentum, knocks it past the keeper. He's got a tap in. But it was I thought that was really strange. And there was one that Havertz hunted down the goalkeeper, sort of one possession, but the keeper just about managed to get up and get the ball away. And there was just a few moments like that that just summed up the intensity that I thought Arsenal were playing with in the game. And yeah, it was very, very enjoyable to see. And obviously, there's been lots of questions now after the game. Arsenal closed the gap on Liverpool, and Mikel was asked about the title race. He says the result gives us the chance to enjoy the moment instead of momentum, because momentum starts tomorrow to prepare for Villa. 3 days later, that's all the momentum that we have until tomorrow morning when we see our faces and we start to talk about how we're going to beat Villa. On whether Arsenal are in a title race, he says we are, because there's so much to play for. And we can see how difficult it is for every team to win. And there's no doubt that Arsenal are in a title race. You look at the league table now after yesterday's game, Arsenal to within 4 points. Yes, Liverpool have that game in hand, but that game in hand is going to be played. We don't even know yet when it's going to be played, I don't think. And it's away at Everton, which could be the last ever Merseyside derby at Goodison Park. It's going to be under the lights. It's not going to be easy game for Liverpool. You would still probably back them to win it because Everton are pretty poor, but it's not going to be an easy game for them. And it's just about getting scoreboard pressure. And we've seen Arsenal fail to take advantage of Liverpool's slip-ups quite a bit in recent weeks. And so they needed to do that yesterday, given Liverpool dropped points against Nottingham Forest 24 hours earlier, and they did that. And now they're within 4 points, and Liverpool will feel that. There's no doubt they would have sat down yesterday watching that game, seeing Arsenal 1-0 down, and just been really, really hoping Tottenham could hold on. And if you can just get in the minds of their players and their fans, then you just never know what can happen. Yes, they're in a commanding position at the moment, Liverpool, but as Mikel said, there is still such a long way to go. They've only played 20 games this season. They've got a really tough looking away trip to Brentford this weekend as well, which is before Arsenal's game against Villa. So yeah, just got to keep winning, keep putting the pressure on, and Arsenal have done that, and they are most certainly in a title race at the moment. I just want to talk about Miles Lewis-Skelly now. I mean, how good is this kid? What a fantastic performance that was. I loved. If you haven't seen it yet, go and watch his interview with Ian Wright after the game. It's absolutely brilliant. And you can just see what last night meant to him, you know, beating Spurs, being involved in a North London derby as an Arsenal Academy kid. He said, I felt $1 million. And you could just see by the way he was talking how buzzing he was after that. And it was so good. He was just, the thing that I love about Lewis-Skelly is just how composed he is. I do think he's going to get himself into trouble at one point, as in I think we'll concede a goal probably from something that he does, but that's going to happen because he's a kid, because he's so good at getting himself out of situations that he's kind of put himself into, because he's so comfortable on the ball and confident in his own ability. He puts himself into tricky situations where he could end up losing the ball in a dangerous position, but each time so far he's managed to get himself out of it. I love the way he does that. He just backs himself. It probably will end up backfiring at some point, but Hopefully not for for a while. But I just love the personality and the character he shows. He's not scared of anyone, and he always gets in the faces of players. A bit at the end, how he got a yellow card for basically getting shoved by Richarlison, I'll never know. But the way he reacted to that, just laughing in Richarlison's face, walking off, whipping up the crowd. This is an 18-year-old kid, 19-year-old kid. The personality that he plays with, it just says an awful lot about him. And I think he's going to be such an exceptional player. Mikel was asked about him. He said, I think it's very rare to see 18-year-olds playing against Kulusevski and Johnson in a big London derby for the first time to perform with that composure, attitude, and that control emotionally. It's very rare to see on his development, and Mikel being a part of it. He says, I think it makes everybody at the club very proud because he's been in our system for a long time and we know the kind of education the academy has given to our boys to get prepared. We have to pick them at the moment that we believe they are ready. And with him, it was very, very early and in a different position because he's never played as a fullback before, but he responds in the manner that he's on, which is a joy to watch. And he was phenomenal, I thought, Lewis Skelly yesterday. In a game of that magnitude, his first ever North London derby, to play the way he did, he was just fantastic. He really is fantastic. I was having a chat with someone on the train. I didn't get your name last night on the way home. Sorry if you're watching. And we were talking about Lewis Skelly, and I do wonder, and I've got quite a few comments from you guys actually that we'll get to in a minute about Lewis Skelly and where he might end up playing, as he continues to develop in a few years down the line. And there was talk about on a train we were discussing about whether Arsenal might regret, and I think I had a comment about it, actually a question about it, about whether Arsenal might regret signing Calafiori now because of the emergence of Lewis Skelly that no one was really expecting in that left back role. But I still don't really see long term Lewis Skelly being a left back. I have to say, even in this sort of system where he basically plays as a midfielder a lot of the time, I still can see him, as his development continues over the next couple of years, moving further forward up the pitch. Because I think there's a player there that could really, really develop into a top class, left 8 position almost. He's got the talent to do that. Loving watching him play yesterday. It was absolutely fantastic. So these are my player ratings I went for last night. I gave David Raya a 7. Didn't have much to do, David Raya, but what he did do, he did very, very well. Obviously, no chance for a goal, taking that unlucky deflection off Saliba and going through Partey's legs. I gave Timber and Saliba a 7. Gabriel and Lewis Skelly, I gave 8. So toss of the coin, really, for man of the match. I know Gabby got it after the game on the TV, the Premier League man of the match. I would probably go along with that. I thought the clearance he made, the defending he made when I think it was Jed Spence whipped in that cross with the outside of his foot, and it looks like Solanke was going to have a tap in, and Gabriel got there and made a brilliant sort of with his right foot and put it behind for a corner. Fantastic defending. He did a couple of blocks in the second half. Obviously, in my view, got the goal as well. So I'd probably go along with Gabriel, just shading Lewis Skelly in terms of man of the match. I thought the midfield was really good. I think Rice probably maybe deserves an 8 rather than a 7 looking at that now. I thought Odegaard played very well as well, and I thought Partey did fine, and heavily involved in that, in the second goal, winning the ball, turning it over and leading away the counter-attack. But I thought Rice had a really good game. Really liked Declan Rice yesterday. So I think he probably, maybe a 7.5 rather than the 7. But yeah, I thought the midfield did well, controlled the game. I enjoyed Odegaard's press and the way he led it. He just looked really energetic again yesterday, Odegaard. I thought Arsenal controlled that midfield area very, very well. Sterling, just not really a game for him. It didn't quite work out. I thought he was better against Manchester United than he was yesterday. Havertz, obviously still not going from in front of goal. Had a couple of headers in the second half. One, I think, was offside, the one he put straight to goalkeeper. I'm pretty sure the linesman put his flag up, so it wouldn't have counted anyway. The one from a corner obviously went just wide. But, I think he did what you need to do. When you're a player who's clearly struggling for confidence and struggling, you just got to, the very bare minimum you can do is just work so hard and play for your team. And he definitely did that yesterday. He pressed very well and almost turned the ball over on a couple of occasions, which could have led to a goal. But I gave him a 6. Trossard I gave a 7, mainly because of the goal. I just loved the goal. I loved the finish. I loved the way he took it on in an area where we've seen so many Arsenal players kind of refuse to shoot in recent weeks and not back themselves and sort of turn in on it and try and sort of lay it off to a teammate rather than taking a shot on himself. And I love the fact that he took it on and he got his reward for it. So yeah, there's the player ratings. Tierney, Martinelli, Zinchenko, Marino came on. I think it was very telling that Tierney came on as a left winger. And I think the Cronkies were there, or Josh was there last night. If you're sitting there as Josh Kroenke in the director's box and you're looking at Kieran Tierney coming on to play left wing in a North London derby, I think that's a very clear message from the manager of what he needs right now before the end of the January transfer window, and that is absolutely a new player. He was speaking after the game to TNT. Mikel, I did have the quotes, but I've managed to lose them now. See if I can get them up while I'm talking to you. But he was talking about transfers and what they were potentially going to do between now and the end of the window. He said, he was asked, are you going to bring someone in this month? And he said, yes, for sure. So that's quite interesting. Are you going to bring someone in? Yes, for sure. Because we lost 2 players, big players. Bakayo could be out for up to 3 months. So that's a long time. And Gabby, that's going to be a long, long time. We're going to try for sure. I mean, we are actively looking. I think we have lost 2 very important players. We have 14 players in the squad and we play every 3 days. So we will try. Let's see what we can get. So yeah, what date are we now? The 16th? We're the 16th of January. Yeah. So we've got about 2 weeks, just over 2 weeks left of the transfer window. And I think it is going to be an interesting time for Arsenal. Let's put it that way. And the fact that Kieran Tierney, as I said, was playing as left wing yesterday, I think summed it all up in terms of what they need right now in the market. Right, let's move on to some of what you guys have been saying. I've got a few pages of this, so I'm going to rattle through them quite quickly. I wanted to get as many included as I possibly could. Chicken Dippers said, bit of a long one, but worth the read. What a game last night. We should have scored 7. Nervy towards the end. Nevertheless, a win is the win. The last time Spurs won at the Emirates was 2006. North London is red. Tell you what, I have been a season ticket holder at Arsenal since 1991. So obviously the last 15 years of Highbury and the first 19 years now of the Emirates, and I have seen Arsenal lose once in the league to Spurs in that time, and that was that game in whatever, it wasn't 2006, was it? Spurs didn't win the first derby at the Emirates in 2006. No, they definitely didn't. The only time Spurs won at the Emirates was that 3-2, which was about 2010, wasn't it? 2010, when they came back from 2-0 down to win 3-2 and Jonas Kabul scored the winner. It's the only time I've ever seen Arsenal lose to Spurs at home in the league since 1991, since I started going as a season ticket holder. We lost in 93 just before the cup final, but I didn't go to that game. And it was a very heavily changed team. George Graham rotated ahead of the cup final. So, I'm certainly used to seeing Arsenal beat Spurs, which is very, very nice. Well, we all are. He said, key points, Gabriel, man of the match, strong in everything. Saliba was class. Sterling slowed the game down too much. Odegaard looked back to himself, should have scored. Leo took his goal well. Rice was magnificent, should have scored 2. Partey was calm and clumsy. MLS was brilliant. He's 18 years old and playing out of position. His normal position is a 6 or an 8. Timber was class. Havertz was better, should have scored. Martinelli annoyed me. He looked up and squared the ball to Havertz, easy tap in. Villa next, not easy, definitely not. Villa are going to be a hell of a lot tougher to beat than Spurs are, 100%. Luke says, hey, Charles, great win last night. One of our best performances for a while. Rice was great as an 8, arriving late in the box. I also think Gabriel is now more crucial to us than Saliba. I think Gabriel's got to be player of the season so far, hasn't he? Absolutely. I was thinking it last night on the way home. I was thinking about who my player of the season has been up to this point. I think Gabriel has to have it. You say, we're wasteful again. Spurs could have easily got something with another lucky deflected goal. Yes, but they didn't. Which is great. Femi says, just so relieved Arsenal won the game, really controlled the game well, but it's still the same story of missed chances, which really needs to be sorted out. The players are so stretched. You could see them looking leggy towards the end. Hopefully everyone recovers quickly onto Villa. Come on, you Gunners. Lewis says, here after the North London derby win, such a relief when Son scored. It felt like a familiar story, dominating the game, then the opposition score against a run of play. Being able to turn that round and get the win was massive for us mentally. Absolutely. You say, love Big Gabby. People still say, Saliba is incredible and important to our play. Rightly so. But Gabby has been the heart of our set pieces and been so successful that he's got teams terrified of giving us a corner. McCormick says, I was so nervous in the last 5 minutes we were going to get punished for not taking our chances. Big performance from Odegaard when we needed it. Jabal says, big up, Big Gabby. Disco-tastic says, MLS was incredible. I wonder how he'd hold up against Liverpool now compared to when he was thrown in early in the season. I think he'd be absolutely fine. Alusia says, hi, Charles. Just watched the game back. I'm curious to get your thoughts. Why can't MLS play at DM? Can receive on the half turn, a decent passer, strong in possession, outstanding anticipation. Really surprised me, some of the reading of his game. I think he could be a TP5 replacement, but with legs. His performance was incredible. Cooley didn't have much joy, but we've got a ton of left backs. Fabulous performance. Yeah, look, as I said, I think further down the line, I think MLS, I don't really see him as a left back. I do think he'll move into midfield. Definitely got the attributes to play there. Well, he's always played there. He's only just starting out as a left back. He is the midfielder at the end of the day. And I do think he will develop into that in the first team as well. Sam says, was nice to meet you, Tom and Harry in the Tolly yesterday. Hopefully not the last time. No, I doubt it will be the last time, Sam. Good to meet you there, mate, and everyone else who I spoke to yesterday. So many of you coming up and saying hello during the day. It was a lot of fun. He said, interesting to hear your opinion on Miles Lewis-Skelly playing Arsenal's biggest game of the season and stamp his authority on the team. He seems so comfortable at this level. How does his role change in a fully fit squad? Well, at the moment, I don't think his role does change in a fully fit squad. I think he is number one left back right now because his performance dictate that. Even if Calafiori comes back and gets fully fit, he's going to have to bide his time and wait for his opportunity because MLS deservedly has that spot in the team right now through his performances. So yeah, I don't think his role does change in a fully fit squad, I have to say. Chris says, good morning, Charles. Chris here from Dallas, home of the other Watts brother. Indeed it is. Hope you're doing well, Chris. Long time viewer, first time commenting, so apologies for the long note. After watching the derby, I feel Sterling could struggle to impact while playing, though I'm hoping he gets better. This leads me to my question. When we say bring in someone in during the window that improves the team, are we saying a player that needs to be in the starting 11, or could we bring in someone that improves the team as a whole, especially with the current size and quality of the squad depth? I feel if we bring someone that is not like for like to Saka, but could be better than our current bench rotation, that seems to be a smart move if the feasible. Thoughts? Thanks, and keep up the good work. Hope to see you in Dallas one day. Sure you will, Chris. I'll certainly be heading over to Dallas at some point. Got my eye on the World Cup and crashing at my brother's house during that. Yeah, well, look, bringing in someone in during the window, it doesn't have to necessarily be a starter. I think that at the moment they kind of have to be a starter just because of the limited options. But I think it's so hard in any team right now to sort of say who's a starter. Look at Aston Villa, for example. Ollie Watkins, obviously back in the team last night, scored. But before Duran was sent off, Watkins had lost his place in the side. And Duran was starting. But you wouldn't say that Watkins was a sub for Villa. He was it's part of having a top quality squad that you can bring players in and out each week, depending on the fixture, depending on who's feeling tired or not. That's what it's all about now. When you're literally playing games every 3 days, right through till the end of the season now, I don't really think you can have a starting 11. You have to just have a squad that is capable of people coming in and performing, no matter if you're starting 1 week or being on the bench. So yes, whoever comes in the transfer window over the next couple of weeks, if it's one player, two player, they just need to be good enough. I don't really look at them and think they have to be what we would deem an absolute starter. They have to just be good, if that makes sense. Ollie says, such an important win, but Villa next, and I want to leave the Emirates in a very positive mood, unlike last year. Yes, that would be nice, Ollie. In theory, Liverpool play before us at 3 p.m, so potentially after play Saturday, we could just be 1 point behind. Mad when you think how it all felt a few days ago. It's not over yet, but we must go on a run now. Really excited to see MLS play in midfield. That left 8, maybe. Yeah, as I've said, definitely see that as a position he could take on in the future at some point. What would we do without football, says Ollie. Exactly. What would we do without football? It makes us sad. It makes us miserable, but it makes us feel like we feel this morning, which is full of joy and happy, and all is right with the world again. It's been nice to talk positively for the last 23 minutes or so. After everything that we've gone through, as I said, it's been a crap week, horrible week, but let's put that behind us now. Let's focus on this weekend. We've got another huge game coming up this weekend. Hopefully the boys can play like they did yesterday with that same desire, that same character, that same personality, and hopefully they can stick away their chances and get a little bit of revenge on Villa at the Emirates after what happened last season. So I'll be back in the morning to start to really preview that Aston Villa game. Mikel's speaking later on in the afternoon, the London Colney 1 p.m. press conference tomorrow, where we'll get the very latest from him. Who knows? Maybe we'll have some transfer news to talk about in the next 24 hours or so. I think things are going to be pretty fast moving between now and the end of the window. Have a great day, everyone. Enjoy yourselves. Wind up every single Tottenham fan you know, because that's what you simply have to do. I packed my 8-year-old son into the car, sent him off to school this morning. My last words for him were, any Spurs fan friends you've got, make sure you tell them what the score was last night. Don't care how old they are. You've got to give it to the Spurs fans after a North London derby win. Have a great day, everyone. Speak to you soon. Bye-bye.